Hello and welcome to the City Managers Report. I'm your host, Jill Fraley. As always, joined by Pikeville City Manager Donovan Blackburn here today, as we do each and every couple of weeks, to discuss things going on in and around the city of Pikeville. Always great information, always a ton of stuff to get to. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Donovan, hello.
Jill, it's wonderful. See, it seems like, I don't know, last year there was so many, we had so much to talk about. This year's not been quick as quick, but
now there's a lot,
there's a lot to catch up on.
There is a lot to catch up on. You came in here today almost on two wheels, so to speak, because you are so busy. But the great thing about it is it doesn't make for boring days.
No,
And the even better thing is that in our wonderful city, so many wonderful things happening. A little bit later on today, we're going to be joined by your Director of Attraction, Sean Cochran, to talk to us about, spring is here, officially began this week.
Yes.
So talk about some of the great things coming up for spring's wonderful opportunities that are going on our waterways and our trail system in downtown. So he'll join us a little bit later. But Hillbilly Days is less than a month away.
It's amazing because, Jill, this kicks off our tourism seasons, what we refer to it. And obviously Sean and our Director of Tourism, Jesse Bowling, it gets extremely busy this time of year. We got a lot of wonderful partners, obviously working with the County Tourism Commission and Tony Tackett and his group and their board, and then obviously Hillbilly Days working with the Shriners, the Hillbilly Clan, the Chamber, and the county. Hillbilly Days really is the kickoff of our event, and I'm sure as you'll talk to Sean a little bit later, our season on the river kicks in the week after Hillbilly Days. So we'll start offering the canoe touring and all that right after Hillbilly Days. But to get to that point from now to then is kind of unique for us from the city, because a lot of folks stand back and you look at the city as a whole, but it's when really the grass starts growing, and then we get into our mowing season. It's when the tulip bulbs start coming up. It's when we start doing our power washing and our pressure cleaning. It's when the blacktop season, what we call, kicks off. So a lot of the potholes that we've endured through the winter months is usually when we go in and we try to fix a lot of that stuff up. So this is our busy time, and then on top of that, we're also starting to move our city hall, as we have talked about.
Which is something that you were working on this morning too. So
my office is temporary. I've been in 4 buildings in the past month, so I'm finally
you have no place to hang your hat.
Literally. But and just before we get into Hillbilly Days, to let the folks know, we're looking hopefully within the next 6 weeks or shorter to transition City Hall from where it is located now to the new location in the old Lightyear building on Main Street. I have moved my office into where my office will be there now, so I can kind of oversee the project. We're trying to save as much money as we possibly can, so we're using in-house personnel. I've got the fire department and police department. Some of the off-duty guys are over there working on tearing out some of the walls and reconstructing the walls. Again, those that are off-duty. We really appreciate WestCare. We've got a great relationship with that group at Ash Camp, and here locally too. A lot of their volunteers that go through their program, they come and they do community service. So they actually were here Tuesday, and they'll be here all next week working with us. So that saves the taxpayers a lot of dollars. It also gives them the ability of contributing to the community. But hopefully by the end of April, 1st of May, we'll transition. We'll probably close City Hall down for a day or two to make the transition over, but we are there. Now, the reason I tell folks this is because one of the things that we did a little bit sooner than later was we have the new City Hall emblem and logo on the front of the building. Again, it was just a timing issue. So now that people see the word City Hall up there, they're coming to the doors, jiggling them. Just want to let the folks know out there that it's not actually City Hall yet. We still are located where we are now, but we're really looking forward to the move. So with all that going on, and yes, I do come in on 2 wheels. We've got between the move and just got back from a conference last week. Was in Washington D.C. with the National League of Cities. Some great initiatives going on with cities on a national level. So it was a really good conference. Had the opportunity of sitting with a luncheon with the Vice President Joe Biden and Senator McCain. Got to listen to him speak, and so really some great topics on what's coming down from cities. So a lot of things going on. Getting ready to head next week to the Congressman Rogers Unite Drug Summit. Actually, I've taken the police chief, Reed, with me, Chief Reed, down there again, and trying to hit things on a lot of different fronts. Had a good meeting with the chief this morning, and there's just so many initiatives that the police department has launched into. As a matter of fact, I told him this week that probably our next show I may invite him on to kind of let the folks know some of the things that they're doing. A lot of work interworks with the school system, obviously, with the recent shootings and a lot of things that have has really heightened a lot of ways that we're addressing in our relationship. Not that we always had a good relationship with the independent school system, but there's some additional things that we're doing to really heighten that. So anyway, just a very small taste of some of the things we're dealing with right now. But this is our festive season, and as you just mentioned a moment ago, Hillbilly Days, which is April the 19th, 20th, and 21st, is our kickoff. And that is, you know, obviously the chamber will probably hit me for this, but if you haven't seen the internal workings, Wednesday night's actually when I have, I won't say the most fun, but it is really unique, because to watch the festival actually pull into town, to watch the carnival set up, the chamber street captains do all the work that they do, and these folks have it down to a science. It is absolutely amazing. The police department getting everybody off the street, UMG coming in, getting all the water hooked up, AEP has been in before, getting all the power hooked up. So there's a lot of things that takes place.
It is, I have referred to it before as a well-oiled machine.
Yes.
And if you can have complete organized chaos, that is what it should be in the dictionary, because it really is the efforts that they go to in their pre-planning. I mean, they start planning the next year's event when the current year's event is over. But to have all of the people come in at a certain time and everything is just like clockwork, it really speaks volumes about the way that the chamber does run their office, and does, because it still is a business.
Yes.
And gets everybody in, and everything is set up by 9 o'clock usually on the first day on Thursday.
Yep.
Or even earlier. And then as soon as it's over, it's like they were never here. I remember coming out from the Eric Church concert last year that we had, of course, Brantley Gilbert going to be at the Expo Center this year for Hillbilly Day, so that's very exciting. Brantley Gilbert was here too with Eric Church, kind of think about it. But I can remember walking out of the concert. As I walked in the concert, the vendors and everybody were still on the street. As I walked out, they were gone, and there was barely a shred of trash or anything anywhere. And that's just, it's remarkable how well it is ran.
Well, and that's a good point, because everybody does play their point with the festival. And again, it's a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that I've done now for 9 years that is well orchestrated and well oiled. Because you've got, again, the chamber playing the role of getting all the booths in and set up. You've got the police department shutting the streets down and getting cars off the street. You've got the fire department that, as the booths are coming in, that they're inspecting, because all the booths have to be inspected by the fire marshal. You've got, again, UMG getting all the water hooked up for all the booths. And then when the festival starts, all the trash, them coming around and getting the trash pulled off. And then, at the conclusion of the festival, working for, getting the booths back off the street, and then all the oil and the schlick and UMG works, to where Jill, when I first started here 9 years ago, UMG literally had to work all the way through the night. And they would be, as I was leaving to go to church on Sunday morning, they were just finishing up. Now they're usually done by 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's become a process, a very refined process, and how it works and how well orchestrated. And I failed to mention also, you've also got Larry Webster, who does a phenomenal job in the city park with the music. Larry's one of his private contributions to the community. He pays for that, brings the group in, sets everything up, orchestrates it. It's the things that the chamber, the city, or the county doesn't have to worry about. So is the music in the park. So it's we've got a lot of great partners that makes all the moving pieces come together. And the county and the city have a great relationship in working together and making sure that things like the Riverfield parking is empty so the carnival can come in, and the trash bags are put downtown. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, but at the end of the day, hopefully the sun will shine and the weather will be pretty, and everybody will have another great year.
I heard a figure this morning, actually, that the festival has raised over $800,000 for the Shriners Hospital and the Shriners children over the years that it's been going on. So that's a remarkable amount of money that we as a community are helping to give back. Now, we have 150,000 people come to Pikeville during Hillbilly Day, so that's no small feat at all. But I think it's important to know people, when they spend their money here, that money also goes to help the children. And it's, of course, we will talk much more about Hillbilly Days and the great attractions in the coming weeks before we get there. But just wanted to get everybody up to date and let them know to mark their calendars now.
Well, it'll be here before you know it.
It will be, just a few weeks away. Easter's next weekend.
And there's a couple of events coming up for Easter as well.
Well, how about that transition?
Well, that's a good transition, and I'm trying to
You're trying to find
I'm trying to find the date. Unfortunately, as you know, I highlighted these things.
It is the 30th.
Well, the 29th, I think, is on the Friday. On Good Friday is the egg drop.
Oh, that's right. That's the egg drop on the 29th.
Which
yeah.
is obviously Easter's that weekend. But on the 29th, on the Friday, up at the walking track, up at Bob Amos Park, is the egg drop. And that's going to be a magnificent event.
20,000 eggs.
20,000 eggs. But it's not just the eggs. The inflatables that are going up the hill. Now, again, just to give the folks a little inside information, just left, matter of fact, this morning speaking with the police chief about it. And we're going to close off the YMCA level to allow handicap parking there, so that because there's going to be a lot of people here. When you're dropping 20,000, last year it was busy. This year it was a little different focus.
It's
this year
double.
It's going to be double or triple in my belief. But on the tennis courts, again, things like inflatables for the kids. There's just a lot of interaction. We're going to have a bus running from the bottom to the top to pick up people that want to park at the bottom to be able to get to the top. Again, trying to provide preferred parking closer to the top for the folks that need assistance. So it's going to be a magnificent event, another great partnership in the community with a lot of different folks. So and it's another a good way for the kids to have a nice event, and then to segue into a weekend of worship for Easter. So it's be a good event.
It is going to be a great event. Again, we hope that the sun certainly does shine. And of course, next week in the city, we do have at certain churches Holy Week services coming up. So leading up to Easter, lots of great opportunities to get out and celebrate the season and the holiday that is Easter for all the right reasons, and for everybody to get involved as a family. So as I mentioned, Sean is going to come and talk to us a little bit later on. But we have the river trails are going to open up the weekend after Hillbilly Days. The horse trail getting under construction.
It is. They started construction a couple of weeks ago. We had a few things from an environmental standpoint that we had to resolve, and we had to get through the last terms of the agreement we had with the Department of Local Government. But all that is done. The horse trail is under construction. We're really excited about that. That, along with the river trails, as I mentioned before, and as Sean will talk about, it's going to, we just got a few more weeks before that's open. And we've talked about in the past, if you've not, folks, I'm telling you, if you've not been on the river, take some time this year. We've got the kayaks that you can rent, the canoes, but take some time this year and enjoy a amenity and a commodity that we have that's right here in our own backyard. Take a 2-hour trip, a 4-hour trip, whichever what you want to do. I guarantee you, when you do it the first time, you're going to be a repeat.
You will itch to go back. It's a very addictive activity, I think, but it's so enjoyable too. One of the other great events that we have that goes on in the city that we'll pick up in May is Muscle on Main. Yes. And this has really grown by leaps and bounds over the past couple of years. Well,
fingers crossed, and I like putting these teasers out there, but we've got some things that we're working on that I think we'll be able to announce sometime maybe around June or July, that we're really going to change this event in its entirety, hopefully, if things work the way that we're planning them. We're looking at a major addition, I guess, to the event that I want folks to kind of tune in for those that you really enjoy it, because it's really going to, as I said, totally change the dynamics. But again, we'll kick off the week of May 10th and 11th for the cruising on the 10th, and then the Burnout and the car show. The Burnout and Muscle on Main on the 11th. They're limiting the car shows this year, as they did, to pay more and more attention to the actual event, Muscle on Main, the Burnout event itself. So again, May through October, going to be a great time this year. We've got some more partners that have come to the table that will be participating. There's actually going to be more vendor booths that will come in as well. So again, just a total different twist. But yet, again, quality of life, giving more things for people to do.
Absolutely. So tonight, we're taping this on Thursday the 21st. So tonight, when you watch this afternoon, there are still tickets available to see the Harlem Globetrotters
Absolutely.
at the Expo Center tonight.
And again, as a parent, I urge you, if you haven't taken your child out to see the Harlem Globetrotters, my dad, when I was a young kid, and my dad took me, and it's a memory that I have with my dad to today of watching. Of course, that was during Meadowlark Lemon, and for some of those, right. Curly, and some of those has been a few years ago. But a great exhibition, a great show, really good entertainment. So I would urge folks, if you haven't seen it, get out tonight and do so.
Absolutely. We also have, don't forget, Driller Indoor Arena Football at the Expo Center, going to go on the 24th. And they have a website you can go to and check out their schedule, so you can make sure that if you want to see the Drillers play, it's very exciting, very different when they set up things, so you can see that as well. We spoke about the community egg drop. Will be on Friday evening with a shuttle, 20,000 eggs. I think gets underway around, 4 o'clock, and then eggs will come down. Eggs will rain down, I should say, about 5:15, 5:20. Yeah.
Bring your umbrella.
Yeah, bring your umbrella. That's what I was talking to Josh Heffman the other day. He came up and was on the radio with us, and I said, "How are you going to really maneuver that?" And he said, "You can't imagine how those eggs look in the helicopters that are above head when they start to drop." So lots of fun. And the thing about that is that these are not filled eggs; they're just plastic eggs, and then you take the eggs to certain stations and redeem them for prizes and things of that nature. So don't forget about that.
You won't have to worry about the whelps, but it's still a lot of fun. You know, as we said before, as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly and so could eggs. But this is again, it's no reference to WKRP for some of us that are that age. Anyway, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Some things for the kids to enjoy, and then on top of that, you know, we've got a lot of great amenities within our region also, Jill, as you know, the Break Center State Park as well. Yes. The day after that, they have their annual Easter egg hunt up there. So, you know, we'd urge kids, again, after you're done here on a Friday, take the trip up there and take part of what the Breaks has to offer.
Absolutely. Also going on near Elkhorn City in the Breaks is Artist Collaborative Theater.
The ACT tonight, as a matter of fact, I think tonight is their last production of Our Town.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I would urge folks again to get out tonight to do so. It's a I don't want to say it in this way, but I will. You know, I don't get very teary-eyed very often. As my wife says, you don't show that much emotion on that end. But this is something that'll put a tear in your eye. I mean, it's a great storyline. Their actors up there really got this thing nailed down. But if you haven't seen Our Town, these community actors do a phenomenal job. It's a great production, a great storyline. It wasn't what I expected it to be, and I'm glad. Not that Our Town, I thought had a little. I guess I had a different storyline in my mind, but when I got there and understood where the storyline was going and how they put its production on, Jill, it's an absolutely phenomenal production. Stephanie Richards and her team are doing a wonderful job, and I know they got some other productions coming up this year. Footloose is coming up. Really looking forward to that as well. Again, when I'm growing up in our era, one of my all-time favorite shows. So I'm really looking forward to.
Maybe you could go audition and be part of it.
I'm going to try.
You could do.
After they saw me, I'd be off the stage in a heartbeat.
I'm sure you'd be fun. The great thing about ACT is that all the actors that are there, that is not their only job. I mean, they're all independent people who have jobs outside of the theater, but it is really a passion for them. And I think when you get people who have a passion for the theater, they're involved, it becomes better than it could have ever been before.
Well, Lauren, who does is directing a lot of the production now, is a young works with a lot of the young talent there. She does an absolutely phenomenal job. You know, Sarah
George,
is one of our own locals that has had a lot of involvement in the theater. But I've got to see a lot of these young kids over the last couple of years really grow up through the theater and what they're learning, and you know, these are really good at what they do, and they really have a passion for it. So again, you know, support your local community theater and get to Elkhorn City and fill your seats.
Yeah, see what they have to offer. Now, one of my favorite events that we have in the city coming up is Main Street Live, and that starts in May, I guess.
Yeah, it starts in May. It is the
first and third.
Yeah,
Friday.
Thank you. First and third. I always get, because commission meetings are the second and
the
fourth,
opposite.
and I always say I get it backwards.
And third.
But first and third Thursday, great event. They've got Minta Cheney's the director of Main Street. It's got some new themes that they're going to try this year. It's going to be really a great time. So I'm really got a lot of folks like getting out and enjoying the plaza. So stay tuned. You can get on the city's website. You can find out what the genre of music is going to be for that particular Friday. So if you want to have some good time, good fun, come on down.
Now, one thing I do want to talk a little bit more extensively about, we haven't had the opportunity to talk a great deal, and I believe that Sean will probably touch on it later on, but I want to talk to you about Hatfield and McCoy Heritage Days, how this came to be. It's going to be Labor Day weekend, so it's not, I know there has been like a day set aside in the past, and people may get this confused because it was a day in the middle of the summer, it was always very hot and whatever. This is Labor Day weekend. This is going to be pretty good sized festival. It's not going to be at this point as big as Hillbilly Days, but that doesn't mean that it won't grow to that.
Well, you know, when the thought of this first came up, and I met with Judge Rutherford, and we talked about the vision of having another festival. You know, obviously we do the festival in April at the end of the year. We have 4th of July, you know, good sized event during the middle of the year. We've got all these other events going on that we just touched on. But towards the latter part of the year of doing something when the weather is, you know, more predictable and having and you thought, what better event to focus on than the Hatfield McCoy? We think with all the focus on it, it'll pull some people without. So our first discussion is that this would be much on a smaller scale and we'll grow into it. But Jill, I'm telling you, it's taken legs like nobody's business. I think within the second or third year it'll be as large as Hillbilly Days. Obviously not competing with Hillbilly Days because it's on the other side of the spectrum. But there's been we've kind of trickled out a little bit of the information. There will be a committee set up. The judge and I have talked about there'll be an actual planning committee that'll set up. We're letting our tourism commissions work together right now. Jesse and Tony's done a phenomenal job at working. We're going to bring in some of the same partners in with the chamber and some other groups at planning this thing. But you're going to see some of the same characteristics as the Hillbilly Days, but a total different line from the standpoint of we're focusing on more arts and cultural. So there'll be a lot of local arts vendors. Matter of fact, they've got 35 or 40 that's already signed up. A lot of community participation with groups like Rotary and Kiwanis and some of the church groups are getting kind of like Hillbilly Days started when it first started out. Working with the chamber on selective booths, or bringing food booths in. So we don't want, candidly speaking, I don't want to have 20 funnel cake booths. We're going to try to limit that to 1 or 2. So we're the focus of it is to really let it kind of evolve around the Hatfield McCoy event. So we've got some reenactments, for example. We're speaking with a group that are going to come down and do some reenactments on Main Street. Got the music in the park, some on the Expo Center's Plaza. Just signed a deal this week. As a matter of fact, I think it was Tuesday. You got a gentleman that does a bird exhibition. He brings in like a falcon and all these different kind of birds, and he's coming into the festival, and he's going to have a bird show basically for the kids. We've got I know Jesse's been talking to Cindy East Kentucky Broadcasting about hosting. We had a unique concept, and I think that's really caught on, of having I don't want to. I'm not going. I'll let. Once it
you
comes
may
out,
surprise me.
Well, I'll tell you later. I don't want to steal the thunder away from East Kentucky Broadcasting, but there's a really unique design of what that they're going to do that I think will be a great photo op, and it's and it's not. I think it'll have a lot of focus. A couple things that we haven't announced yet, that this will be the first time that folks hear about it, other than those that have been involved in the planning event, but is been working with the Expo Center on a concert. So we've got 2 or 3 different names that we're looking at, trying to negotiate that out. So we should have hopefully a name to announce. So there will be a concert definitely during the event. We had actually, because we kind of came to the ideal kind of late, we actually looked at bringing another carnival into town. And problem is you can't get a carnival overnight. We spoke to 3 or 4 different companies, and finally was able to use the Chamber's influence with Jules and Beck to actually get a carnival. So there will be a carnival for this event as well. And then yesterday, we just mentioned the Artists Collaborative Theater. They're working on their opening production of it. They're going to have the Hatfield and McCoy storyline. I haven't talked to them directly, but it will be into the festival. And then yesterday, Jenny Wiley Theater just announced that it's on their website. They're doing a production in the old Dollhairs building. They just finished the Taming of the Shrew. It'll be the same type of setup. I know tickets are $20 in advance, so I urge you may want to start booking them because they're going to go quick. But they're doing the story of John C. and Rosanna, the love story. So they're going to do a segment of different storylines. It's already been written, and already they're going to start their production of it fairly soon, or training for it, I guess, for open to production. So there's a lot of things that's going to evolve around this event as well. A lot of people are excited, get a lot of questions. So a lot of things happening, Jill.
It will be a great time. It really will be a great time. And I think that the interest in the Hatfield McCoy, obviously the movie, the miniseries that was done last year, there's still so much interest. And we've had people come to our city from all 50 states,
yes.
or,
all 50.
All 50 and contiguous states. And then and it was remarkable in the summer last year to drive down Hamley Boulevard and to see all the different license plates that were parked along our street. They were on the bus with Jesse and Sean, taking the tour and seeing everything that we had to offer. But it's just a great opportunity. A lot of people, and we've talked about this before, they do staycations and are staying at home, taking advantage of the rivers and the hiking trails, which is something that Sean and I will get into a little bit later. But also the theaters and the waterways and everything that we have. And so I think the festival is just going to be one more opportunity for people to have maybe just one more little vacation.
It will, and also mention too is the week after Hillbilly Days is when we start. You mentioned our riding tours. You can go on our website, visit Pikeville.com or the tourpikecounty.com, either one, and you can see a list of all these events that are going on. Or if you're interested in taking the riding tour, you can book your tour there as well. Understanding all those proceeds are going to tourism for, we hope sometime this year to actually build or commission the statue of the Hatfield McCoy.
That will be so exciting.
It'll be a great addition to the community as well.
It definitely will be. Now, all of our events that we have that are going on are on the city's website.
Absolutely.
Which is?
Two different places. You can go to www.cityofpikeville.com, and that'll take you to www.visitpikeville.com. So visitpikeville.com or tourpikecounty.com list all the events going on within not just the city of Pikeville, but within the region. I know we appreciate our partners with Pike County Tourism. We've got a great relationship. We work with them daily, and a lot of look, Jill, just 2 years, what all has happened, all the things that we're able to announce.
I know, it's amazing to me. And of course, now we will say quickly, because we need to get to Sean really quick, but the retail development that's going on, it's still going to happen.
I appreciate you bringing that up. Absolutely.
That's one of my favorite things to talk about.
It is. Just to give a brief update on that, I have spoke to the developers several times this past week. It is moving probably by the end of April. You're going to see some movement on the groundwork down there. Probably the overall project won't start until around June or July, but the first intent is to build a new post office, and he'll probably start that in April. I've seen some designs, some actual blueprint designs of the project. Has already worked on getting his permit. Matter of fact, he just applied for the sign permit to put the new logos of all the new stores he's got coming into this facility. You can get it on his website, and you can look at the design. You can see the different properties he already has leased out. He's already signed lease agreements on. So the project is moving forward. Again, I keep saying the only pivotal point that we're waiting on is doing the lease agreement with the post office. And actually, I got a call from the post office yesterday, so they're ready to move forward as well. So the project,
still moving along.
Folks, bear with us. You're going to see dirt moving sometime before July, I would suspect, but probably at least the post office piece of it sometime the end of April, 1st of May.
Exciting stuff.
People are going to be excited when they see the stores' names. I'm telling you, they're going to be excited.
They are. Yes, they are. Well, I'll tell you what, when we come back, we are going to talk to Sean Cochran, who is the Director of Attractions for the city, and going to give us some great information coming up. So we will be back with Sean Cochran in just a bit. Stay right there. Pikeville and Pike County Tourism invite you to scenic Pike County, where history lives. Enjoy a tour of the famous Hatfield and McCoy feud sites in downtown Pikeville. Treat yourself to an adventure on the Hatfield and McCoy River Trails, a Kentucky Blue Water Trail. Affordable rentals of kayaks, canoes, and tubes are available. Have your own kayak? We'll pick you up and drop you off for your trip down the river. Pikeville offers comfortable accommodations, exciting attractions, and great restaurants. Make Pikeville your home away from home. Visit and enjoy wonderful attractions like the Breaks Interstate Resort Park, Jenny Wiley State Park, the Hatfield McCoy ATV trails, and so much more, all within 30 minutes of downtown Pikeville. So what are you waiting for? Visit our website today at www.visitpikeville.com or tourpikecounty.com. Discover Pike County. Now on the City Manager's Report, we from time to time bring in special guests to talk with us about upcoming events going on in our area, and certainly today is no different. Let me welcome in Director of Attractions for the City of Pikeville, Sean Cochran, who is going to be with me for a little bit to talk about a lot of great events coming up. Sean, I have a whole list of things that I want to talk to you about. You know, last year with our different attractions that we have going on in our city and around our Pike County area, we had a lot of things going on. And this year we have even more. So welcome in.
Thanks, Jill.
Lots to discuss.
It's good to be here. You know, you're right. Last year was a busy year for events and attractions here in the city of Pikeville and the whole region for that matter. This year we hope to be bigger and better. Like you said, we've got a whole list of things here. You know, last year, Jill, with the one of the biggest, I guess, attractions that we had here, of course, was the Hatfield McCoy.
Certainly.
You know, phenomena that swept the country.
Yeah.
I think 14 million viewers watched the miniseries last year, and so we, in response to that, of course, we worked with Pike County Tourism and with the county and developed the Hatfield McCoy Historic Tours. We stayed sold out. all summer long. We ran those tours all the way through the end of October. It was amazing. It was humbling to see the amount of people who wanted to come and see our, this area. And we ended up, I think, with people from all 50 states and 7 countries that came.
7 countries.
7 countries.
Now that I did not know.
7 countries, yeah, that came here to Pikeville. Excuse me, to just to kind of, it's almost, when you come here, because of, we have the cemeteries here, of course, with the Dill Cemetery where the McCoys are buried, the Randall McCoy home at the end of Main Street now, where, and all these locations, it's a tangible way to get involved with history.
You know what, I know Donovan and I have talked about this before, and I think I've even discussed it with you. It's amazing to me the people who really had a renewed interest in a major part of our history, not from a negative standpoint, but they really wanted to know, and I was included in that. I watched the miniseries, I recorded it and watched it back again just in case I missed something. But it's so neat to drive down our city or out into our county area, even over into West Virginia, to see the markers that have been placed. So you can, if you wanted to take a tour yourself, you can do that, or if you wanted to get on the bus and let you take people on a tour. I just think the renewed interest is very, it's exciting, and I believe that interest will continue as we get into our spring and summer months.
Well, we absolutely expect it to. This is not going away anytime soon.
No, it's not.
As a matter of fact, online now there's a whole community. Like you say, it's a renewed vigor, it's a renewed interest in the Hatfield-McCoy feud. I'm one of those strange guys. I've always been a history buff my whole life. I had a history teacher in the 7th grade who just loved his job, and from that point on, I've always been very interested in history. I've always studied it, if you had asked me, Jill, and I'm going to admit this, if you had asked me this time last year, should we be focusing on the Hatfield-McCoy feud, I would have told you no, because I would have said there's no interest. No one wants to come in, and no one wants to see about that, and boy, was I wrong.
I think we all were, to be perfectly honest.
And to the credit of people like Mr. Reed Potter and some of the local historians in the area, they weren't. Reed and they, people like him and Betty, and they knew the interest that was still there. And of course, what the miniseries did was just catapult it into a national spotlight again. But this time, unlike in the 1880s and 1890s, without so much of that stereotype, maybe, like we saw then. And it's exactly what you said. The people that are coming here, we're not viewed negatively about it. They're very interested in it. They want to learn. They really like to learn the entire history of the feud. They get a kick out of finding out. The feud maybe didn't start over a pig. Maybe it was a little bigger than that.
Yeah.
And even on the tours, we even go all the way back into a little bit of Civil War history. A lot of the things that were going on here in Pikeville at the time. So yeah, it's full steam ahead. It's not dying anytime soon. We've got our tours ready to go, starting April 26th, the weekend after Hillbilly Days. Of course, we've got, a little thing planned for Labor Day weekend.
We're going to talk about that in just a second.
Yeah. So, we're looking forward to it.
It's going to be an exciting time, and one of the things that I think a lot of people found out when they came to visit just maybe for the tour is that we have a lot more to offer here. We have a great river that runs through our city.
Absolutely.
That people are taking advantage of, I think, more now than ever.
Absolutely.
Your outdoor sports are becoming so popular. I now have the biggest interest in river fishing, wading, canoeing, kayaking, that sort of thing. And you and Jesse have done a great job with really getting people excited about that. So let's talk about all of the trail events, the river trail events that we have going on. We have new trailers, buses, books, times, locations. People can do anything. So I'm just going to let you go and ask questions as we move along.
I'll tell you what, Jill, and it's great for me. I'm a person, I've always been an outdoors person, and I think a lot of us in this area grew up that way. I saw a little picture on Facebook that said we had a great toy when I was a kid. It was outside.
Yeah,
and,
who knew?
And yeah. So a couple of years ago, when I had started Cut Through Adventures, one of our goals at the time was to kind of get that next generation behind us and to show them what's out there. And I think much to the credit of the City Commission, they have that vision, and so they created this river trail. Now, one of the problems has always been with getting on the water has been access. And so what the City Commission did was they created this 8.2 mile stretch, which you know, that's a full day if you want to get on the water. But there's 4 access points on that 8.2 mile stretch, and so you can tailor. If you want to be on the water a couple of hours, you can get on for a couple of hours. You know, if you want to be on it all day, you can be on it all day. So, but you know, that's the River Trail's been tremendous in showcasing those resources that we have that maybe we didn't recognize before. And you mentioned, you know, that you see more people on it now than ever. You know, the fact that you're interested in getting on the water, you know, is exciting to me because, you know, and that's what I want to see. I want people to understand that, you know, here in Pike County, we've got the best of both worlds when it comes to river access.
Really
because, you know, obviously in October with the Russell Fork, we have, you know, kayakers from all over the world that come in to enjoy, you know, world-class kayaking. As a matter of fact, 2 years ago, the U.S. Olympic team used it for their time trials.
You know, and I actually hiked to the breaks this past fall. I think I told you that, so we could watch the kayakers that day. It is amazing the skill that it takes to do that. But the thing about it is that you know you can be very advanced, and I encourage you to do that. But there are also places that if you're novice and you're just getting started, there's that opportunity as well.
Exactly, and that's where the Hatfield-McCoy River Trail comes into play. And the whitewater is fantastic, but there's a select amount of people, you know, there's a very few amount of people that can run most of that. Now there are some sections up there that, you know, that certainly these outfitters can take inexperienced people on and go. But to just get in a boat, if you've never been in one, and travel on a real calm, nice waterway, you know, right here's the place to do it. We have all Class 1 water. There's nothing mean, nothing nasty about it. It's great for families, great for beginners, great for younger people.
The thing that I love the most about the particular stretch of water you're talking about, it's all Class 1 water, like you said, very calm. There are so many different, not just the access points that you have, but there are so many different points throughout the river where you can actually get out and sit on the rocks, or you can take a picnic and be in a dry area that you can, you know, utilize that. And then you can, if you wanted to wade or you wanted to go even sit in the water, you could do that as well because it is so clean and so beautiful. So it really is, like you said, the best of both worlds. A great trip and great adventure for a family.
Absolutely.
And you can do the lengthy day, like you said, or the short time as well.
And you know, Jill, you mentioned the other things to do in the area, you know, and that's one of the things that's so great about what's going on in Pikeville right now. There are so many things to do now. You know, if you wanted to take a trip on the river, you could take a couple of hours on the river, maybe have lunch on the shore like you're talking about, and then, you know, maybe go see a movie or go to Main Street Live that evening or to Muscle on Main. There's so many events and things going on, you know, that the opportunity is there now.
Let's talk about how people can actually book River Trail trips right now. I mean, I remember when you and Jennifer started Cut Through Adventures a few years ago. It has grown so much, and you're so excited about it. And one of the ways that you don't have to walk up to a place anymore and book something, you actually encourage the booking online and getting the information because there is so much information on the website. Give that website if you would.
The website is hmrivertrails.eventbrite.com, and that's it's BRITE.com. And what that is, it's a third-party website who hosts ticket sales for people. They're, you know, international website. But yeah, you know, like you said, when we first started Cut Through Adventures, you know, we did it on a you know, you came up to the window and we got on the bus. And you remember the bus that we had?
I do remember the bus.
And those were the days. But so now, if you go to that website, you can actually buy your ticket. You can pick. Our pickup times are Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 12, 2, and 4. And you can go ahead and buy your ticket in advance. You just show up now to the ramp behind Texas Roadhouse. We've got a new bus where we even have a DVD player in the bus. You watch your safety video on the way. It is pretty swanky. We like it, yeah. So we've got a trailer made just for canoes. We pick you up, we take you, and we drop you off. And when you come back to the ramp, all you do is get in your car and go to Texas Roadhouse, have something to eat, go to Walmart, go shopping,
and then book another trip.
And then book another trip.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we will continue to put that website up, and of course, they can give you a call if they need more information. You have on your list here a Paddlers Club, and I didn't ask you about it before, but I do want to know what that is.
Yeah, and that's great. I'll just touch on it really quick. You know, we've got retailers now carrying kayaks. Walmart's carrying kayaks. There are several other people that are going to start carrying kayaks soon, and you know, Walmart can't keep them. People are buying these kayaks, and I see a lot of them private cars and things now. So what has happened is you have a group of people. We've actually created river culture now here, and so you have a group of people who wanted to get together and, you know, have races or just share stories, share experiences, or what have you. And so they're actually they're meeting March the 21st. So anyone that would like to attend that meeting, it'll be at the Garfield Building in the City Park, March 21st at 6 o'clock. And
that is the new Southeast Kentucky Chamber of
that
Commerce,
is
by the way.
that is the new
know.
Southeast
Yeah.
Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, we've just had to move, but it'll be in the community room.
Right, there in the front.
So yeah, and no experience necessary. You know, you just show up, and there are guys in this club that are very experienced kayakers and paddlers, and they want to help get people into this sport because, and what I tell everyone, as you found out, kayaking is one of the most natural things you can do.
It really is.
You know, when you get in a boat, it's a very natural skill. It's not difficult at all. And it's,
Well, really, you don't have to do anything except sit. But the great thing about it is if you're there for leisure, like I usually am, it's great. But if you are a person who really likes to have a workout when you're outdoors and things of that nature, and you don't necessarily want to go into a gym and be inside, it is a very intense workout, too, if you start to paddle.
Absolutely.
So lots of fun. I mentioned a second ago about the river being so clean, and we're so proud of that. You know, we've been named to many different, had many different honors because of our clear streams. River cleanup is coming up.
River cleanup is coming up April the 6th. It'll be the same cleanup situation we had last year. Pikeville High School Pride Club, which is a very active club,
They're
very large
extremely
club.
active, yes.
60 to 70 students. Mrs. Kelly Scott, she just does a wonderful job with them. She's family too, by the way.
She's great. I
yeah.
worked with her when I worked for the independent school system, and she is so passionate. And those kids really, they understand how
They
great
pick up
she
on
is.
that. She's
yeah,
a
they
great.
do.
She is an asset to the community. She really is.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, but the river cleanup will be then, and you know, anyone who wants to come out and help is more than welcome to. We're going to have actually several cleanups this year. We'll have that one in May, and the next two will be weather permitting, depends on the water. But we're going to try to have another cleanup in May and then another one in July. Those will focus more on getting tires out of the river.
Let's talk about that for just a second, because there is a place along the river where there are a lot of tires, and sometimes those stay there and for a good reason. Talk a little bit about why those are there.
Well, you know, and Jill, if we go back just a little, you know, 25 years ago when I was on the water growing up, the river wasn't nearly as clean as what it is now.
Right.
And I think through great leadership at a local and even a regional and a national level, we've seen a lot of things happen to clean the river up. Removal of straight pipes and such as that. The tires, now I don't think we have the problem with the tires going into the water. It's just like you said, once they're in the water, they stay there for a long time. They fill with silt and debris and they're weighted down, and so they're there. So the only way to get them out is to actually physically remove them and have someone take them out. That's what this is going to focus on. One of the issues with that is what do you do with the tires when you take them out? Right. Because there's usually a fee associated with that. So we've actually partnered with Bridgestone Tire, and Bridgestone Tire has a program, and it's basically it's a 1-for-1. So for every tire that they sell, they want to take one tire out of the environment.
Wow,
so what they will do is they will actually bring a tractor and trailer in, and all we have to do is to get the tires from wherever we pick them up to the trailer, and they'll take them out of here for free. So it doesn't cost us anything. So it's a win-win situation. You know, it's just it's fantastic, and really that is the last hurdle to getting our river really as pristine. You know, we've had the first year at Cut Through Adventures, we had people from 19 states. Last year we had people from 21 states actually on the water, and they all talk about how beautiful it is. You know, going through the cut through, how great that is. The only, and I hate to say a negative thing, but the only thing that I've ever heard is, you know, is we have a lot of tires in the water.
Yeah.
And so that now is going to be our concentration. And once we get to that, we're going to be in really good shape.
You know, I know that we do want to get those out because it does add to the beauty of the water, but for those of people who noodle or like to catfish, those are great catfishing spots.
Yeah, they really,
they really are. They get down in there.
Yeah. But now I tell you, I'm not that hardcore.
You're not going to noodle.
No.
No, I'm going to do that this year.
Are you going to do that?
I am going to do that this year.
You let me know, because I want to come and watch that. Yeah, I want to come watch that.
Yeah, but I do plan to do that this year, and I hope I just don't lose my courage, but I do want to do that. It's on my bucket list. But, you know, great effort with Bridgestone, though. That's a wonderful way to give back, and the 1-for-1 thing is a great accomplishment. We were talking before we started filming about trail towns and different trails, river trails, running trails, walking trails, horse trails. Seems like we have a trail for everything, and we could be recognized for that, right?
Absolutely. We are actually right now as we speak, and this is the first time we've actually publicly talked about it, I think. It's a debut. We are in the application process to be a Kentucky Trail Town, and that's a very prestigious award. There are very few Kentucky Trail Towns. You know, to give you an example, the Sheltowee Trace in central Kentucky. You know, there are a couple towns on there that are trail towns.
Right.
So, but what this does is this is an initiative by First Lady Mrs. Brashear that she started this, and you know she's a very outdoorsy person.
Very much so.
She's very involved with adventure tourism, ecotourism, horse trails, and things. And so she wanted to recognize towns who provide outlets and opportunities for outdoor adventure and outdoor trail systems. And it's twofold really. There are a lot of towns who provide the infrastructure, provide the trails and things like that, but they stop short of actually promoting positive usage of those. And so one of the main components of this Trail Town program is that not only do you have to have the trail system, but also we have to, you know, be actively promoting their usage, which we definitely are here in Pikeville, you know, and Pike County. And so by this application, you know, the trails that we have, Jill, here are amazing. We have our multi-use trail for bicycles and running and walking. It's at Bob Amos right now. The entire loop's about 6 miles. I'm actually working on an addition to it that's going to add another 2.2 miles to that.
Really?
So we'll have an over an 8 mile. Yeah, and it's a little more mountainous.
I say that tongue in cheek because that's where I'm not one of those people, and I know a lot of people aren't, people that want to get inside a gym. There are people that like to do that, but there are so many people who want to be outdoors and who like to be in the mountains. I'm one of those people, and I have used that trail for years and years and years. And at the time that I did it, it was about 5 miles, 5 to 6 miles. But I think the addition of a little bit more mountainous terrain would be a great benefit to people who want a little bit more intensive workout.
Absolutely. And I'm like you. I would much rather be outdoors. You know, sometimes on a treadmill you kind of feel like a hamster in a wheel.
I just can't do it.
You know?
Can't do it.
God bless those people that can.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know that multi-use trail is growing at Bob Amos. We are pursuing a primitive hiking trail, very similar to the Pine Mountain Trail. If that one works out, that could be a 10 to 12 mile trail.
Now, where would that be located?
It would actually, it would be at Bob Amos, and it would kind of parallel the multi-use trail a little farther up the hill. Now, the thing about this trail is it's a primitive trail, so the only, you know, you would have blazes on trees, in other words, just you know, orange stripes to follow.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever been to the Pine Mountain Trail, but it's a great trail.
I have been, yes.
It's very similar to the way that works, and basically just a footpath, you know, and that would cater more to the people, the backpackers, you know, who would like to take a day and, you know, a good day of hiking covers 7 or 8 miles, and they can, you know, and do it right here in town.
If anybody has been to the trail around the lake at Jenny Wiley State Park,
yes,
it's similar
to
that, because it's not a very wide trail. It's very footpath. You can't really run on it. It's more of a more intensive hiking type trail, and I guess it's very similar. Very
similar, and it just you get a little more of the seclusion feeling. You know, whereas we're trying to get the best of everything. You know, the multi-use trail is. You know, of course, we have the Bob Amos track. So if you want to run on a track, we have that. Then you can move on to the multi-use trail, which is in the woods, but you know, it's still there are paved areas. It's gravel. The weeds are, you know, all maintained and kept. And then we would move on to you know, this other trail, which would be a much more primitive trail. So we've got. But then, I'm sorry, I could just go on and on.
I know.
We have the horse trail.
The horse trail is what I was going to ask about next.
Yeah, the horse trail will be opening soon. Construction's actually starting, I think, next week. You know, we're looking at I think it's a 2.2 mile circuitous trail with the barn there, and then, you know, there are plans that we could extend that later, that trail. So we're very excited about that horse trail. You know, there's a lot of work went into that, a lot of foresight, a lot of planning, and again, this is just, you know, I think shows the leadership of the commission and this kind of thinking outside of the box, you know, to go in places, but that's what being a trail town is all about. Is recognizing those opportunities and taking advantage of them, and not only just providing the infrastructure, which we put a lot of money into that, but also then to be able to promote the usage and to actually get people to develop that culture of use of these trails. That's what being a trail town is.
The one other trail that I want to mention too is something that if you're not the mountainous type, you know, rough terrain person, we have the walking trail downtown that I think is great, especially for maybe our older community who can't necessarily get on those type paths. We have the opportunity downtown with markers and everything. They can pick up the map, I think at the tourism office and at some various other locations, that you can walk around the city of Pikeville and see a lot of different things.
And again, Jill, that's another component to the trail town is that they look for systems that are connected to larger systems. And so it's like you said, in downtown we have the historic walking trail that follows the downtown loop. Then we have the healthy walking loop, which is a little larger. And so, they're very easy to walk. You know, someone that doesn't want to get outdoors, or maybe just want to take a stroll in the afternoon,
or maybe
or evening,
wants to start,
or just to start.
You know,
yeah,
just
absolutely.
to start
just
getting
to,
a
just
little
to
bit more
started.
physical
yeah.
activity outside.
Yeah,
I
just
think
to
it's
get out
great.
and just get out and get moving. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Just get out and move.
That's all you have to do. And the great thing about it, I think, you know, we talk about all the different opportunities we have in the Pike County area, but we are such a central location for all of the different counties in our area. You know, with US 23 and US 119 being, you know, our main thoroughfares, people from Johnson County, Floyd County, Magoffin County, Letcher County, even our friends over in West Virginia that come this way on 119, it's really something that we're doing for our region, not just for our city.
Absolutely, Joe. And I want to tell you a real interesting story. I didn't realize how regionalized we were. Last year, the Hatfield-McCoy River Trail, by the way, has been named as a Blue Water Trail by
Right.
Kentucky Fish and Wildlife.
Which is a huge honor.
Huge honor. At the time, there were only 14. I think there are only about 18 in the state now, so we were extremely pleased with that. And we mentioned the water quality. One of the qualifications we had to go through was quality of water and fauna. And I won't get into all that, but Kentucky Fish and Wildlife
We
biologists
could do a whole other show on
absolutely a whole show about that. But anyway, my point being, while Kentucky Fish and Wildlife was here taking pictures of locations and things, and when we were at the Texas Roadhouse ramp, there was a gentleman in a kayak. Him and he had a son with him. He was about 11 or 12 years old. And they were fishing. They were just coming out of the water, and you know, talked to him just a little bit. And they were from Elliott County.
Really?
Yeah, and he had come here to fish this stretch of river from Elliott County.
Because he knew the quality that the river was here.
Yeah, because he had heard about the quality of fishing that we have here.
Well, I think it just increases the quality of life and enhances everything in our region that we want to promote. You know, we've talked a lot of times, I know I've discussed with you about people who don't take big vacations anymore with their families just because, you know, our economy, we all know, has struggled in the past a little bit. But when you have this staycation, there are so many things that families can do here. We have a lot of different lodging opportunities around at the Breaks and at Jenny Wiley and different areas that we have, of course. And then the campsites that we have. You know, people can bring their RVs and their motorhomes to Bob Amos and stay for a week if they want to and take advantage. So the opportunities that we're providing for families to even save a little bit of money, but utilize what God's given us, I think is a wonderful opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. It's we've been working on these packages, as you know, that'll be up on the website soon. And that's exactly what it is. It's a 3-day weekend. And, you know, instead of driving to, you know, the Smokies, you know, come here.
Absolutely.
Just
stay home.
Just stay home.
Stay home, stay in your own house, and just take advantage.
You know, get on the water all day and go catch a live band at Main Street Live.
Yeah, it's
you
so
know,
much
I mean,
fun.
it's just there is so much going on. I just can't believe this is my hometown. You know, it's
I
really,
think
it's not the same
thing
town I
too.
grew up in.
No, it's really not. And of course, I've lived here for 13, 14 years. You know, of course, I'm from Johnson County, so I've always known about this area. But now it's my home, and I see so many different opportunities just from the time that I moved here. But it really makes you have a sense of pride in your town, and you want to tell people about it. And us being involved with the inner workings sometimes of the cities and doing the shows and what you do, I think it's easy for us to sometimes forget about everything that we have because we hear it so much and we're aware. It's just, but for somebody who is just finding out about it, it's kind of hard to get your mind around.
It is.
But it's exciting.
It is. And I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. So am I. So am I. Let's talk about some races going on. We see 5K races popping up all over the place. And actually, I made a commitment on the morning show that I do this week to get a little bit healthier because of some health issues and things like that. So I've always wanted to run a 5K race. And, you know, I've walked them and things like that. But this is my goal. But we are having a lot of races that are popping up everywhere that we want people to take advantage of.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I started at the end of January. My wife and I and my daughter, we all three made a commitment. I'm like you. I've always wanted to just be able to say that I've run
Finished
a 5K.
a race.
Finished a race.
Because I've been a jogger or I won't say a runner, I will say a jogger because I love to jog on the trail, you know, and it's a great way to get in, to find a way to get in shape and to become a runner. But I was always scared. You know, I thought, well, if I start to run, I have to run the entire time. And that's not the case, but that is my goal. I mean, it's 3.1, 3.2 miles?
3.2 miles.
Yeah. So lots of different opportunities for that.
Yeah. Well, we've anyone that's in Pikeville knows that we have a lot of 5K races. You know, we always have had, and I think, you know, and again that goes back to just some great leadership and looking around and realizing that, you know, we do have problems with obesity in our area. We do have problems with diabetes and things like that. And so by getting out and just moving, you know, maybe we can start to combat some of those things. You know, and it's like you said, maybe just to get started. So with all these races, I didn't know, but you know, we talked about the Paddlers Club. There's a group of runners here too, and they call themselves 606 Pavement Posse. I think it's a great name.
That's a great
name. They are Facebook official, so they do have a Facebook page.
So it's real.
It's real. It's
If
the
it's on
real deal.
Facebook, it's real.
It's on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's real. But anyway, had a great meeting with some of the club members last week. We want to, the city wants to promote this healthy lifestyle. And, you know, one of the interesting things is, like you and I were talking about, that they brought up, one of the interesting points is people like to use these races as a goal. And so we've come up now with, we decided that we're going to have 10 races. That's almost one a month. And, you know, if someone has the goal to get out and get healthy, you know, if it's March, they can say, hey, you know, I want to run that race in August. And I've got from now until then to get ready for that. And this is just a great group of people in this club. There's a couple of members that have done exactly that. They started off by walking. They set a goal. You know, I wanted to run a race by X date, and did that. And so we're glad to be partnering with you.
Which is sort of what I've done. I'm getting started now. I told a friend of mine, I said I had to get, you know, you have to have the right shoes to run, so I had to get a new pair of shoes. And then maybe by, say, July, August, I'll be ready. But I can think of like the Judy's Place for Kids is coming up in April. I'm not sure about any in March, but then there's a couple this summer, and then in August you have different races associated with diabetes and things like this that really encourage a healthy lifestyle. And like you said, it's not about, you know, for some people it is about the time, but for me, and I think you too, it's more about just being able to finish and marking that off your list, and then you progressively get more and more involved and become healthier in the process.
Absolutely.
So that's a great time.
Yep.
Sean, I want you to give the website again where people can register, because we're almost out of time.
Okay.
I know
Well,
we
it
could
goes
go.
by fast,
We
don't
could
it?
go by and
I
talk
know,
a
I
little
could
bit more.
keep
But
talking
what
about
is the website?
It's hmrivertrails.eventbrite.com, and it's BRITE.
And you can go there. You can book your times, get information in case that you wanted just maybe something we didn't cover. Find out about the packages that start. When did you say it's the weekend after Hillbilly Days, right?
April the 26th, weekend after Hillbilly Days.
That all those events start.
That's when. Yeah, our event season is ready to go. We've been working very hard, Jesse and I, and not just Jesse and I, but we've been working all winter.
A lot of different members that work
we
together.
do. So just many work, you know, a lot of hard work by a lot of good people.
All right.
So we've been working all winter, ready to go. Event season kicks off in April, and we won't quit until October.
Cannot wait. Well, I know that you're going to come back and talk to us later on this summer and update us on new events that are going to happen, because I know that will come about. But Sean Cochran, Director of Attractions for the City of Pikeville, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We will be back. Thank you. Pikeville and Pike County Tourism invite you to scenic Pike County, where history lives. Enjoy a tour of the famous Hatfield and McCoy feud sites in downtown Pikeville. Treat yourself to an adventure on the Hatfield and McCoy River Trails, a Kentucky Blue Water Trail. Affordable rentals of kayaks, canoes, and tubes are available. Have your own kayak? We'll pick you up and drop you off for your trip down the river. Pikeville offers comfortable accommodations, exciting attractions, and great restaurants. Make Pikeville your home away from home. Visit and enjoy wonderful attractions like the Breaks Interstate Resort Park, Jenny Wiley State Park, the Hatfield McCoy ATV trails, and so much more, all within 30 minutes of downtown Pikeville. So what are you waiting for? Visit our website today at www.visitpikeville.com or tourpikecounty.com. Discover Pike County. Welcome back. Of course, Sean, a great guest that we love to have on our show. Gave some wonderful information. Of course, as I told him, itching myself to get on the water. Of course, those trails and everything opens up the weekend after Hillbilly Days. Yes. You can do the kayak rentals, the canoe rentals, even you know, the Paddlers Club that's getting involved. Yes. All kinds of great opportunities that we're offering to our citizens, but of course the people in the surrounding area, because Pikeville really is, you know, it's in the central side of our state, so it's easy to get to from just about anywhere.
It is, and of course, you know, I wanted to dedicate this show talking about all the wonderful things going on because we're getting ready to go into that season, as we just mentioned, and there's nobody better person than I have on staff than Sean that has a passion for what he does. I mean, as you just heard, all the things that he's involved with and all the things that again, we have a great amenity here within our own community that people need to take advantage of, and you've got somebody that really has some expertise. Obviously, knowing that the river has been named as a Blue Water Trail, and Actually, Sean's working obviously on getting ourselves labeled as a trail
Yeah.
city. So there's a lot of great things going on, Jill.
Well, and just the fact that we have so many opportunities for families to be active together. The river, the Bob Amos Trail, the new trail that he talked about that's going to be a little bit more primitive, a little bit more strenuous kind of workout that you would want, but certainly something to look forward to.
All good stuff.
And we will continue to update people as we go.
Sounds great.
We're out of time. Donovan, thanks.
Jill, appreciate you so
Always
much.
a pleasure. Thanks so much, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.